In this section, we're going to add tests to test the GET requests. We can do that by writing test, and the first argument is a description. So we'll just describe what we want our test to do. We'll say get, then the path, which is /words. Get words returns 200 OK. And then we'll add a closure. Since we're doing a GET request on the database, we're going to be using await, so we'll make this an async closure. Write final response equals await. Then we're going to use harness, which has an agent. The agent is able to make different HTTP requests. So we'll write harness.agent.get. Then we'll write the path /words. So we're going to expect that the response .status code is 200. 200 is the status code for it's all okay. So this words path on the GET request is testing this method here in the words controller. And that method gets routed from our Dart server channel in channel.dart. Right here with the words path. Let's make sure our server is running. We can use the pg control command. And yes, the server is running. Next, let's start the Dart server. You can run the tests now by right-clicking the word test and then choose run and the name of the test. Good, our test passed. Let's write another test. I'll just copy this one. What if the route is something besides what we have defined, something besides words? I'll just call it whatever. I would expect that another route would give a 404 not found. We'll change our agent to get whatever, and we'll expect the status code to be 404. Right-click, run. It passed. Let's copy and make another test. Let's get the word at ID 1. So I'm going to expect that it returns a 404 not found for an empty database. And because we have Aqueduct set up to redo the database every time we run a test, that is, to delete the database and reinitialize it, then we should expect that it will be 404, not found. Let's try. Run the test. Right-click Run. Test failed. Let's go down. I expected a 404, but I get a 200. Why is that? Let's go over to the words controller, and not the general get, but the get ID method. Get word by ID. And you can see that no matter what the query returns, I always respond with OK. So let's check word. If word equals null, then let's return a response dot not found. Now let's go back and run the test again. Right-click, run, get words. The test passed. Great. That fixed it. Let's write another test. Let's expect that I return a 200 OK after making a post. And this is for a word ID of 1. So first, let's add something to our database, and then let's see if it's there. So to make a post, we can use our agent.post, and then we'll post to our words path. Then let's post some content in the body. That content will be a JSON object. Remember that our JSON object should have a key named word. We'll give it a value of cat. Then we also have another key named content. And content is also a JSON object. And that JSON object includes a key with the name description. Let's give it a value, animal that purrs. Add a semicolon. Now I expect it to return a 200 after I've already added this word. Let's try it. Right-click, run, test. The test passed. Great. Just what I expected. Let's copy this and write another test. Let's test the content of the body this time. We'll make this say get has expected body after post. Let's get the response of this post. So we'll call it final post response equals, and then what we had before. Let's get the ID from that response. So we'll do post response.body, and then let's cast the body to a map since it was JSON. And the response will have a key named ID with the ID of the inserted word. Now we could have skipped all that and just said 1 because since it's the first insert, it's going to be 1. But this gives us practice getting the ID back from the response. So rather than saying 1, I'll just check the ID from the response. This time I'm not going to use expect, I'm going to use expect response, which takes a few arguments. First I pass in the response, then I pass in the expected status code, and finally I'll pass in the expected body. So I expect the body to be word is cat, content has a description, animal that purrs, and I also expect it to have an ID equal to ID. I could say 1, but equal to ID. Let me add body here to get rid of that error. Run the test. And it passed. Great. So that confirms that our database is saving the word and also returning it when there's a request for it. We've been running these tests all one by one, but you can run them all at once too. If you go to the top and right-click the main function, go down and choose Run Tests. And they all passed. Great. We're going to be adding more tests later for other request types like post and put and delete. So let's group all these GET request tests into one group. To do that, you can write group and then add a description. We'll just make the description say GET and a colon. For the body, we'll include a closure that will have all of these tests in it. We just put this at the end of the tests and reformat the lines with Option Command L in Mac. Now I can run the test by right-clicking Group and choosing Run. And I ran all of the tests in that group. They still pass. All right, in the next lesson, we'll go on and test post requests.